Selling your home can already feel overwhelming, especially if you are trying to do it quickly. Many homeowners look for cash buyers to simplify the process and avoid repairs, delays, or uncertainty. But in that search, one of the biggest dangers you can run into is a buyer who asks for money up front. This is where many sellers make costly mistakes. If a company claiming to buy your home asks you to pay a fee before they make an offer or before anything closes, stop right there. That is not how legitimate home buying works. Anywhere, ever, real cash buyers and professional home buying companies make money when they purchase and eventually resell your property. They do not charge you money just to look at it or submit a quote. Any upfront fee request is a red flag, and this post will explain exactly why. How legitimate cash home buyers actually make money. A real cash buyer makes their money on the back end of the deal, not the front. They buy your home at a price that accounts for their costs, including any repairs they plan to make, the time it takes to resell, and their own profit margin. That is the business model. You get a fast, certain sale. They take on the risk and the work of turning the property around. There are no legitimate scenarios in which a real home buyer needs you to send them money before they buy your house. Not an application fee, not an inspection fee, not an administrative fee, not an earnest money deposit going to the buyer rather than to an escrow account. If someone is asking for any of those things, they are not a buyer. They are running a scam. Common upfront fee scams targeting home sellers. These scams have become more common in recent years, especially as more homeowners search online for ways to sell fast. Here are the versions you're most likely to encounter and how to spot each one. The processing fee scam. The fake buyer says they need a small fee, usually between $100 and $500, to process your property information or run a title check before making an offer. Legitimate buyers pay for their own due diligence. The inspection fee scam. The scammer sends someone who claims to be an inspector and then asks you to pay for the inspection report before they can make an offer. Real cash buyers order and pay for any inspections themselves. The reservation fee scam. The buyer asks you to pay a fee to hold your property off the market while they arrange their funds. Legitimate buyers do not need you to fund their acquisition timeline. The advance deposit scam. The buyer asks for an earnest money deposit from you rather than from them. In a real transaction, the buyer puts up earnest money, not the seller. The legal or title fee scam. A fake buyer says you must pay attorney or title fees directly to them before closing can proceed. Real closing costs go to the title company or closing attorney, not to the buyer. Legitimate cash buyer vs. scammer know the difference. A real buyer makes an offer for free. A scammer charges a fee just to view or make an offer. A real buyer pays for their own inspection. A scammer asks you to pay for it. A real buyer has a proper business name and address. A scammer only uses email or text, no real office. A real buyer closes through a licensed title company. A scammer asks for money to be wired to unknown accounts. A real buyer gives you time to decide. A scammer creates urgency and pressures you to sign fast. A real buyer can provide references. A scammer cannot or avoids it. Knowing the difference can save you a lot of money and stress. Once you understand how legitimate buyers operate, the process becomes much less intimidating. Why sellers fall for upfront fee scams. Many sellers in difficult financial situations accept things they would normally question because they feel pressure to close fast. When you are behind on payments, facing foreclosure, or dealing with a challenging life situation, the urgency can make warning signs easy to ignore. Scammers understand this. They target people who are stressed and looking for quick solutions. They communicate quickly, sound professional, and present the fee as a small, routine step needed to move the deal forward. The problem is that once you send the money, there is usually no real deal. The buyer disappears. and you are left with less time and fewer options than before. How to verify that a cash buyer is legitimate. Before you move forward with any buyer, take a few minutes to check who you are dealing with. This step can protect you from losing real money. Look up the company's name in your state's business registry. Every legitimate business has a registered entity. Search for reviews on third-party platforms, where reviews cannot easily be controlled by the company. Check how long they have been in business. Ask for references from past sellers and actually contact them. A legitimate cash buyer will have a physical address, a working phone number, a verifiable business history, and a process that involves a licensed title company handling the closing funds. If any of those things are missing or unclear, it is best to walk away. What a legitimate cash sale looks like. Understanding the normal process can help you spot anything that feels off. You contact the buyer or they reach out to you. They gather details about your property. They make you an offer at no cost. If you accept, the transaction moves to a title company or closing attorney. The buyer handles inspections and due diligence at their own expense. Closing takes place and you receive your payment. At no point should you be required to send money directly to the buyer. What fees should you expect? In a legitimate cash sale, you typically pay nothing up front. At closing, standard costs such as prorated property taxes, title insurance, and any agreed-upon seller contributions may be deducted from your proceeds. But you do not pay the buyer directly before or during the transaction. If a buyer tells you a fee is refundable, do not rely on that promise. Scammers often use this tactic to make the request seem low risk. Once the money is sent, it is very difficult to recover. Final thoughts. No legitimate home buyer will ever ask you to pay them money before closing. That is the rule. If someone asks for any kind of fee upfront, whether they call it a processing fee, inspection deposit, or reservation charge, do not pay it and do not continue working with them. Real buyers make money by purchasing and reselling your home, not by charging you fees. Protect yourself by understanding how the process works, verifying who you are dealing with, and trusting your instincts when something feels off. If you want a safe, straightforward way to sell your home without any upfront costs or pressure, reach out to a verified local cash buyer and ask questions before committing. A legitimate buyer will always be transparent, answer clearly, and never ask you to pay to get started.